Politically, the Druze community has been actively involved in the Israeli system since the state's inception. Druze citizens vote in national elections, and several Druze politicians have served in the Knesset, Israel's parliament, often within mainstream Zionist parties like Likud or centrist parties such as Blue and White, now called National Unity, or in the past, Kadima. Some Druze have even reached high political positions. Ayub Kara, for example, served as Minister of Communications. This political participation reflects the Druze community's deep integration into Israeli state structures. However, political representation alone doesn't erase the challenges they face. Despite their loyalty and widespread military service, Druze communities have historically experienced socioeconomic gaps compared to the Jewish majority. Issues such as underfunded municipal services, difficulties in urban planning, and barriers to obtaining legal building permits, often resulting in unauthorized construction, have been persistent sources of frustration. Disparities in education, employment, and infrastructure continue, and although some progress has been made over the years, many Druze still feel they are treated as second-class citizens in significant aspects of civilian life. Then came July 2018. The Israeli Knesset passed the Basic Law, Israel as a nation-state of the Jewish people, more commonly known as the nation-state law. This law, championed by Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing government, formally enshrined Israel's identity as the national home of the Jewish people. While the law seemed largely symbolic to some, its specific language sent shockwaves through Israel's minority communities, especially the Druze. The law declared that the right to national self-determination in Israel is unique to the Jewish people. It downgraded Arabic from an official language to one with only special status, and it stated that the state views Jewish settlement as a national value and would act to promote it. For many in the Druze community, who had tied their fate to Israel and sacrificed their lives for its security, this felt like a deep betrayal. The reaction was swift and unprecedented. Tens of thousands of Druze citizens, joined by supported Jewish Israelis, took to the streets of Tel Aviv in a massive protest. Community elders, spiritual leaders like Sheikh Muafak Tarif, and high-ranking reserve IDF officers led the way. They waved Israeli and Druze flags side by side, delivering a clear and powerful message. We are loyal citizens. We serve and sacrifice. Yet this law relegates us, constitutionally, to a lesser status, simply because we are not Jews. 3 Druze lawmakers immediately petitioned Israel's Supreme Court, arguing that the law was discriminatory and unconstitutional. The protest marked a turning point, a deep crisis of identity and belonging. How could a state they defended with their lives demand their loyalty, yet legally prioritize one group of citizens over another based on ethnicity and religion? Critics argue the nation-state law undermined Israel's democratic character, sacrificing minority rights on the altar of ethno-nationalism. Caught off guard by the intensity of the backlash, the government scrambled into damage control. Promises were made to pass legislation affirming the Druze community's special status and to increase benefits in housing, education, and employment. But the law itself remained unchanged. These talks continue to this day, with Druze leadership pushing not for symbolic gestures, but for real, tangible equality. The nation-state law controversy laid bare the underlying tension in the Druze-Israeli relationship. It challenged the narrative of perfect harmony and loyalty, and sparked a national conversation about citizenship, equality, and the identity of the Israeli state itself. While the military bond between the Druze and Israel remains strong, the pursuit of full civic equality is now a defining struggle for the Druze community. So, what does the future hold for this unique alliance? Younger Druze citizens are growing up in a world where their identity feels torn. They're taught to be proud Israelis, to serve, to contribute, to belong. And yet many now question, do we truly belong? For some, the answer remains a firm yes. They continue to join the army, vote in elections, and engage in the political system. But for others, doubts are growing. Some have begun to reject military service, a once unthinkable move in a community where army service is a pillar of identity. Others question whether their sacrifices are genuinely recognized by the country they've chosen to serve. And beyond Israel's borders, the Druze identity continues to evolve. In war-torn Syria, Druze communities face existential threats, navigating between loyalty to the state and survival amid chaos. In Lebanon, the Druze play a complex role in the country's sectarian system. In Jordan, they remain a quiet but integrated minority. Across the region, Druze communities share history, culture, and religion, but their political paths diverge sharply. In Israel, the Druze stand at a crossroads. They have given their loyalty, their blood, their future, now They asked the state to fulfill its side of the promise, not only as soldiers, but as citizens. The Druze story in Israel is a story of complexity, of patriotism tested, of identity challenged, of a community still fighting, not just for survival, but for equality. In the next and final episode of Echoes of the East, we cross borders into Syria, where Druze identity is tested by war, displacement, and the politics of survival. Don't miss it.